Hello everyone, I'm here today to do another review for the Booker 2022, and this should be the last one until the shortlist is announced, because I'm not willing to read the books that I have left if they don't make it to the shortlist. So this should be the last one, and that is for The 7 Moons of Maali Almeida by Shehan Karunatilaka. And this is a book from Sri Lanka. And it follows Maali Almeida, who is a photographer in Sri Lanka, and this is a very political book. It focuses a lot on the different political parties and how each of them operates, and the conflict with the Tamils and the main government and things like that. And it actually explains quite well what the situation in Sri Lanka is politically. There's snippets of the book that they are sort of addressed to international people, in particular international reporters, because Maali Almeida is a photographer, so he works a lot with international reporters, journalists, so he does sometimes explain to them what the situation in Sri Lanka is, and that's how readers from other countries that are not Sri Lanka can get a little bit more of a sense of what's going on in the book. So I thought that was a clever way to present the information so that it was not overbearing, but at the same time it made it more readable for international audiences. But basically, we follow Maali Almeida, who is a photographer, and he's also gay, but he is kind of closeted. I mean, people close to him sort of know what's going on, but he does have a girlfriend, so he's trying to pretend that he is not gay, but he's also not trying to hide his sexuality too much. He does have a boyfriend as well, and he's not the nicest person, but he is flawed in a way that is sort of relatable, or at least enduring. And when we meet Maali Almeida, he has just died, and in the culture that is portrayed, when someone dies, they have 7 moons to sort of repair or like do something in the world. And he particularly is interested in this box of photographs that he has hidden from politicians, because they have some relevant information that they don't want to be exposed. And throughout the 7 moons, we follow Maali Almeida trying to make the photographies known to the people he wants them to be known for, and also we sort of see, it's not very clear at the beginning how exactly he died and why he died, and we see by the end why that happened and how that happened. So there's sort of like a mystery element to that, of what's gonna happen and how he had died, and then there is the other element of explaining these 7 moons and how they work, and sort of like what the soul does after this time, where does it go, all those cultural elements. So it does have a very strong political background, but it also has a lot of cultural background embedded to it, so it does give a very complete idea of Sri Lanka, I feel. So that's more or less the basis of the book, without going into spoiler territory. Another important element of the book is the writing. It's writing as a second person singular, so as you, and you refers to Maali Almeida, so it's narrated from someone from the other world, where he is when he dies, sort of telling Maali Almeida, this is what you did, and this is how many moons you had left, and this is what you decided to do, and hurry up, kind of thing. And I think it's very effective. It doesn't always work as a device, I think, in most novels, but I think in this one in particular it does work, because it does give a certain distance from Maali Almeida, like we don't know what he's thinking, but so it does it does give the mystery element a little bit more weight, but at the same time you do feel involved because it is more direct than the third person. So yeah, I think that was really effective, and if you couldn't tell by now, I really like the book. I think it have a lot of elements that are very innovative in terms of narrative, but also in terms of culture, in terms of message topics. Also the plot was quite engaging because, as I said, it's kind of a mystery, so it has the plot as well. And the characters, you want to know more about them because they are flawed, but they are engaging still. It's not so flawed that they make them become caricatures. So yeah, I think that all of the elements were very well done, and I think it was a really successful novel overall. I wouldn't mind if it won the Booker, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I think that for me the elements I enjoyed the most is learning about the political background of Sri Lanka, but I also think that doing it as a mystery of what happened to Maali Almeida, what happened to these photographs, what is the relationship of the photographs with the current situation in Sri Lanka. It also talks about how previous civil wars affected Sri Lanka, and I learned a little bit about the civil wars in Sri Lanka from last year's Booker nominated novel, A Passage North, and even though the narration style is completely different, I think they inform each other. So I enjoyed this book a lot. I think it's a very well crafted novel, and yeah, as I said, I wouldn't mind if it won. But let me know if you have read this book, what you thought about it in the comments, and if you want to read it, I would highly recommend. And until next video,